Hello friends, welcome to this video. So today is my first day back in the studio for yonks. I had some time off over Christmas and then I got the lurgy. So today is my first day back in my studio making art and I'm feeling lots better, so it's all good. I've got a couple of work commitments which involve going back through my sketchbooks. It just struck me that actually it might be interesting if I took you with me. So there are a few reasons why I'm looking back through my sketchbooks. Firstly, after any pause or any break in creativity, I find I need to kind of pump the well a little and I need to pick up threads and tune back into what I'm finding interesting and exciting and what is lighting me up in my own work. So I just find that spending a little bit of time going back through work I've already created, thinking about the colour combinations I like, the marks I'm drawn to, the subject matter, the colours, the materials. So really just spending a bit of time with things that I've already created and asking myself what is interesting me now today and just trying to tune into what my art is telling me, if there's any sort of signposts or clues or ideas that I can pick up. And I think going back through old sketchbooks is a little bit like catching up with old friends. It's a memory jog, it's a reminisce, it's a little bit nostalgic, and I always find it's a super helpful way to get going after a pause or a break. So as well as all of that, there's a couple of reasons why I thought I would go back through my sketchbook, because I've got two work commitments which I need to honour. One is I need to write some interview answers to why I use a sketchbook and what my sketchbook practice brings to my creativity. So I just thought I'd go back through my sketchbooks and try and, think about that. And the second thing I wanted to do is go back through my sketchbooks and just see if there are any images or drawings or pieces in my sketchbooks that I want to scan. I work with a company in America that create prints for corporate buildings, so particularly kind of wholesale prints for things like hospitals and hotels and offices, so corporate spaces. And often what I do is I scan things from my sketchbook and I work with the company to kind of create artworks from pieces in my sketchbook. So that's another reason why I need to go back through my sketchbooks to sort of find if there are some things in my sketchbooks that I think might work as wall art. So that is what I'm doing today. I'm having a little mooch back through my sketchbooks. So I've got a big pile of sketchbooks in front of me and they're different sizes from different companies, different eras, different periods that I've worked in. So I'm thinking about some of the interview questions that I've been asked about how sketchbooks support me. But I'm also looking for specific images that might work as wall art. And it could be that it's a bit of an image. It could just be a little section that I can scan. Sometimes with my really large sketchbooks, if I'm wanting to scan something from these big A3 sketchbooks, so they're effectively A2 in size. So what I do is I scan them in small pieces and then I patchwork the image together in Photoshop, and then it gives me the whole kind of image. There's some pieces here that I think might scan nicely. Some of these big floral pieces here that I was actually doing as some prep for my next class, which I haven't started filming yet, but I'm just about to. I actually think some of these would look really nice scanned, so I might do that. These pieces are made with coloured pencil, felt tip pen, a real mix of materials, and I think they might look nice. You know what, whenever I go through sketchbooks, I find things tucked in that I've forgotten that I've even made. I found these little collages, these little black and white collages, which I think were the starting point of some experiments that I was doing in the Still Life lab. But I actually really like them. I completely forgot that I did them. But actually, if I think I think they might scan up quite nicely. Sketchbooks are always a place to begin, a hunting ground, a place to search for treasure. Whether I'm working on a personal project or a client brief, first thing I always do is just get a pile of sketchbooks on my desk and look through them. It's a way of seeking a spark, an entry point, the things that are calling to me. Sometimes I just think that there are sort of partial ideas and half-formed ideas or even whole ideas just sitting in my sketchbooks or waiting for me to rediscover them. One of the things I really love about working in a sketchbook is that it's a safe gathering place. It's a place to keep all my ideas together. It's like a safety deposit box. So with the power of cinema, it's now tomorrow. I ran out of energy to do any filming yesterday, but I did have a lovely time. Mooching around in my sketchbooks, I found quite a few things that I wanted to scan that I thought could work as wall art. It made me think that actually there's often a paradox in the way that I work in my sketchbooks. I never think about the end result when I'm working. I never think, oh, this would make a lovely print. I can't bring that energy to my sketchbook. I want my sketchbook to feel playful and exploratory, that I'm just creating for the discovery and for the joy and for the delight. I try and not think about the outcome, and then when I've kind of created, I go back through my sketchbook, and obviously there are pages that are a mess, there are pages where things haven't worked, there are things I don't like, but there are also, in amongst those pages, there are things that I really love. Bringing that kind of creative playfulness and an acceptance that the outcome isn't the most important thing helps bring an energy and a freshness to some of my sketchbook pages. I'm not working in my sketchbook thinking, oh, this is going to be a print. That is really far from how I work. But sometimes things I do in my sketchbook turn out well and I like them and I want to use them. So I found some things that I wanted to scan yesterday, but I think more importantly, I also felt like I was reconnecting to my creativity, rekindling that sort of spark and thinking about what is calling to me now. So I looked back through my art with a sort of inquisitive heart, really, and thought, what here is calling to me now? And so I've made some notes about the things that I want to take forward in the kind of coming months, and I talked about how I want my art to feel and my creative process, and some specifics about some of the techniques I want to use or some of the subject matters. So I was really looking back through my art as a way to connect back to my creativity after a pause. I think it was a lovely way to re-familiarise myself with some of the things that I kind of like and enjoy within my own creative process. I made some notes about how I want my art making to feel, how I want my creative process to feel, and I've written things like freewheeling and unfolding and unfurling. And I think I have a tendency to want to be productive and want to do things. And I've also made some notes about the feeling that I want in my art. So I was thinking around beauty and disarray, those sorts of two sides of a coin, mixing the unruly with the neat. So playing with ideas of contrast in my art. And as I look back through my sketchbook, these were the things that were occurring to me. So I just thought I would capture those fleeting moments, write some notes so that I can think on them. There were some small sort of acrylic studies that I thought actually I'd like to explore them on a larger scale. So there's some practical things, some philosophical things. And I think this is one of the reasons that I find my sketchbook practice to be so valuable to me. It's like a real way to connect and key in to me as a creative person. And there's a quote from Rumi, the Sufi poet or philosopher, that I think is really beautiful and which I wanted to share with you actually. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. And I just thought that's a lovely philosophy for life and art. And I think that might be my motto going into this new year. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do.